Hello, everyone. Hi. Let's see here. Let me get the chat up. So here we go. So I know that this is a weird time for me to be streaming. Let me just fix this here. All right, there's the chat. Let's get off of Top Chat Party. Hi, Astro Guy. How you doing? All right, so we have the series of Magical Mermaid continues. You very well could be. Well, technically, I was the first one here. But yes, you're the first person watching. Okay. Sorry, that was a bad joke. So let's see here. I'll zoom in a little bit. And we're just continuing this page here. I kind of wanted to work more on her face today, but let's continue with where we left off, which I think was working on some bubbles and getting rid of any extra black outlines. So let's keep going with that. Today, so I had a bunch of questions. Hold on, let me grab it. So I had a whole bunch of questions about if you need to use this. Hi Bev, how you doing? About if you need to use this particular brand of acrylic to do the work that I'm doing. You don't. There's this craft acrylic paint. This works really well too. So I'm going to demonstrate how this works today on, the same task that we were doing. So this is brand new. Hi Rose. Welcome. From Canada, huh? I've visited Canada a few times in my life. It's a beautiful country. All right. So I have this brand new thing of craft acrylic paint. I got this for 95 cents. It's on sale right now at Hobby Lobby. So you can see, just shake it up really good. And then I have this old lid. So I'm just going to pour some on. Now, you can see here it's a lot more runny and liquidy than the other stuff I was using. Hi, Jo Beth. So that's okay. It's just going to require maybe a couple of coats extra. So let's get right on into it. So we'll see how this works. So I'm just going to go over. So what I'm just working on is just getting rid of all the black outlines by making them white. And then we'll go over them either with a color or with colored pencils. You'll see. We're just going through this process of making the page look more painterly. And this is something I get asked a lot. So I did demo in an earlier video in this series a lot of different media, because there's no one right way of doing it, really. It's good to see you too, Jo Beth. So I hope everybody's doing well today. And I've been preparing for a few big events going to come up on my channel soon. So we have some fun things in store. Let's just move this so that you guys can see. So some of these, I don't know, I'm kind of on the fence about. I kind of do want to highlight them though as bubbles. So let's do it. So you can feel free to skip through if these, it's basically a whole bunch of me just covering outlines with white paint. once you get the idea, if you want to skip these videos, that's totally cool. I know that it's not everybody's cup of tea, but I was going to just do it on my own, and I had a couple people be like, no, show us how. And I'm like, okay, no problem. So that's what I'm doing it for, but if you don't want to watch these, I will not be offended. Let's see. Hi, Jody. Hi, Sue. How you doing? Hi, Joey. Thank you all for coming. So we're gonna try to get as far as we can on this page. At this point now, I'm sort of anxious to finish it, to be honest with you. We've been working on it for over a year now. Feels like forever. So I'm anxious to get this done. But I don't like rushing this final process. So even though I want to finish it, I still try and take my time. And this is where patience kicks in, because, you know, you want to get it done and you're anxious to finish, but if you rush something, sometimes it doesn't look so hot, at least for me. So I try to take my time and just relax. I'm doing okay. Yeah, I just saw my sister off, so she is now on the road to Florida. That happened this morning, and I had a work meeting this morning, so I couldn't stream my usual time. I'm sorry about that, guys. Kind of crazy day. But I wanted to definitely say goodbye to her since it was her last day. They just left. Okay, so I think I'm gonna paint these not with white, but with a color. But I do want to go over these little seashell tops. So basically, when I'm picking out the lines that I want to get rid of, I just look at what stands out to me. So if I see a line and it bothers me, that's when I'm going to go over it with the paint. I don't go over every line. The ones that blend in or look fine. I mean, I don't really see the need to cover. A lot of people do cover every single line. There's nothing wrong with that either. I just don't really feel the need to do that. So that's all personal taste, personal preference. Some people will get rid of everything and make it look very painterly. I don't mind honoring the spirit of the fact that it is a coloring page and just keeping the lines that don't bother me. But it's whatever works for you. Yeah, I will miss her, Jo Beth, but I'm really happy that she has this opportunity. I think she's going to do great. And, yeah, you know, sometimes you... And luckily with modern technology, we can video chat. I mean, I know it's not the same as hanging out in person, but we can video chat and talk to each other all the time and text messaging, so it's not so bad. It's not like the old days where you had to write letters. Yeah, it is. Hi, Shannon. How you doing? So you'll see this paint is thinner than the other paint I was using, so it will require more coats sometimes depending on where you're at. But it works great. It dries matte, so that's great because you can go over it with colored pencil. So if that's sort of your preference, you can definitely use the Americana paint or any other matte acrylic paint, I should say, because it doesn't have to be that brand. And so I hope this answers some of the questions I've been getting. Okay. Sure, Jordan, I already have actually. So if you go back in my uploads list, you'll see skin tone color combinations, and it is there. So you got it. It's done. And I did that video about, I'd say, maybe 3 weeks ago. So you can just look in the uploads list. Or I think it's in the Lunch with Laura playlist as well, because it was one of those. Yeah, you got it. Okay, so I definitely want to keep going here. We've got some white, black outlines. Let's actually go, I know I'm traveling here, sorry. I'm gonna go up here. Let's just get rid of, these are towards the light, so I am gonna go over them with white. So ones down below I think I'll go over with a green paint. But the ones up here, I kind of want to highlight these with like a greener yellow, I mean a yellowy green rather. So I think I'll go over them with the white and then with the yellow. In my experience, lighter colors do well over white. The true color just comes through much more. If you do it over black, it looks kind of muddy. So I'll just get rid of these guys. Sorry, Astro Guy, can you use English only? I don't speak other languages that well, and I'm not gonna understand that. So, I'm just gonna get rid of this here. So we're English only, sorry. I don't know what that says, so it could be an advertisement for something inappropriate or not saying it is, I'm just saying we gotta get rid of that. Okay. All right. So once we're done with the white paint, I'll mix up some colors and we'll get going. And my schedule may change for the winter time because this morning at 7 a.m. when I was scheduled to stream, it was still really dark out. It doesn't get light until about 9 o'clock now, and so until daylight savings kicks in, but even then it'll start to get dark really you know, early, and the daylight basically will be a lot less than it usually is in the summer. So I may need to change around my schedule, but I'll just keep you guys informed. I'll just post a post right here on YouTube, and make an announcement in some video, so just stay tuned for that. I've been trying to schedule my live streams at least a day or two early, so that way you guys know when I'm going live. So like today I just adjusted the time for this one. So I hope that helps out. You can always watch it on playback too, so if you miss something, that's cool too. No big deal. I just kind of wanted to give you guys a heads up. Just sort of have to do. Jordan, I do take my time. It depends on the particular page and what medium I'm using. So if I'm using a media that's faster, like watercolor or Crayola crayons, something that's a little bit less labor intensive, then I could get a page done in about 10 to 15 hours. But pages like this that are done in colored pencil and I'm taking my time, I think this one now we're approaching on like 30 something hours. I'm not even sure, but I've got it all on video. I haven't skipped through, or it's all live on video in real time. So you can kind of get a sense from this series exactly how long it takes me to do stuff. But the thing is I think speeding up the process by hurrying through doesn't really give you guys a good sense of how I work. And, oh, I'm sorry, I'm out of camera. So I like to have one series that I'm working on my channel. So like after this page is done, well, we already have chosen, we voted on a different page, so we're gonna go with that page and do the same thing where we'll take our time and you guys see from start to finish exactly my process. Because I think some people get this impression when they watch like those really sped up videos, like, you know, the time-lapse videos where like, you know, 14 hours of drawing happen in a minute. I think you get like this unrealistic sense of how quickly things happen, and it's just, at least for me, it's not the case. I do take my time, especially with coloring, because it's something that I do for fun. And you know, I'm not, you know, for my commission work, sometimes I'll have to, you know, hurry. I'll stay up late nights and stuff. It depends on if there's like a tight deadline. But with my coloring especially, I just enjoy the process, take my time. I don't time myself or try to speed things up, because I feel like then it's stressful and not as much fun. So yeah, I have been known, like some of my personal work, my paintings, they'll take, my longest painting was 87 hours, I believe it took me to finish. So it really does depend on the size of the piece. That was an 18 by 24 painting. And actually I have a print of it I can show you guys. My longest ever painting. It was a portrait of my mom, but not in the way you might think. You're welcome. So yeah, I do videos where we do speedier things. You know, that's my lunches with Laura, where like we do a project and just finish it that day. But yeah, I like doing these longer video series where you guys really get a sense of how things really go for me. And I really do just, I work how I work on my own, because I think like jumping around, I know it might be harder to follow, but that's really how I work. So trying to sort of fake it or plan it out, I think doesn't give a realistic view of my process either. So you'll see some videos like my metal tutorial that I just did. That's a much more planned out and concise sort of tutorial. So I do stuff like that too, where I plan it out better. But for these, I don't know, I think it's more like just like a chill and chat and just hang out and have fun. So after this one's done, we'll pick another page and do that once a week. And I just throw in extra streams here and there when I can for other stuff. So let's. No, don't be sorry. Hi, Emily. Nice to see you. I had to watch back your video this morning. I fell asleep last night. I was just too tired. I've been helping my sister move, and all that manual labor, all that heavy lifting really just knocks me out. Yeah, it turned out great last night. Yeah, I'm actually impressed because my drawings take like 20 hours, so your streams are fast to me. I think you're doing awesome. Yeah. My drawing streams, everybody would be snoozing, I think. Because, like, I redraw things so many times, it's ridiculous. Like, I'll go, my eraser gets the best workout when I'm drawing. And people are like, oh, it's perfect. I'm like, no, it's not. I went through it like 50 times. It's still not perfect. So, yeah. No, I think you're doing awesome. The 3 hours is not bad. Yeah, 6 by 8, yeah. See, yeah, I draw usually 10 by 10 or 11 by 14, something like that. So yeah, it does take longer the bigger it is. I should start drawing really teeny tiny. Take longer. I mean, to take less time, rather. So, yep, we're just going through and getting rid of all the black outlines that stand out. And then we will continue to go over them with color. So this is the process that actually takes a really long time for me. And I don't do this with every single page, but I do it to a lot of my pages. And it's something that people ask all the time is, how did I get rid of the black outlines? And there is no right way of doing it. There's a lot of different methods out there. So I think it's like 3 videos back in this series, I did go through a couple of different options for how to do this. Different medium. Good morning, Bee. Alright, let's see, is this in camera? Yeah. So I'm just jumping around. Whatever I see at that moment, that's what I'm working on. My hands are a little bit shaky today. Probably because I had caffeine this morning and I don't usually drink caffeine. Normally I am caffeine free, but I just, since we were lifting heavy stuff and stayed up last night, I had some tea this morning and now I'm all wonky. I'm using this here. This is like craft acrylic paint. It dries matte. In my earlier videos, I was using this white paint. This does not dry matte. It dries more glossy. So any kind of acrylic paint will work for this particular task. Since I plan to go over the outlines with acrylic paint where I want color. If you want to go over them with colored pencil instead of more paint, then I would recommend the paint that I'm using now. And the reason why is it dries matte and it really takes the acrylic really beautifully. I mean the color pencil, sorry. takes the color pencil really beautifully. So it's just sort of what process you're using, what should determine what particular media you're picking. But in an earlier video, we also used this Dr. P.H. Martin's Bleed Proof White ink, so that might be what you're thinking of. And I also use this designer squash. So all of these products will work. Yeah, it just depends on what you're doing and what you plan for it. I don't have a dip pen, but I could do that, yes. I just don't have any experience with a dip pen, and I don't own one, but I have plenty of paintbrushes. So I just decided to use what I have in my studio already. But yeah, I could see a dip pen working. I don't see why not. Why not? Let's see. Maybe I'll just dull down these dots a little bit. I'm not trying to get rid of them, just sort of knock the contrast out of it a little so that it's not so bold. Okay. Can you color over the white ink like you do the acrylic paint? Yes, the bleed proof white ink and the white gouache do take color pencil very well. The only thing that doesn't take color pencil is the glossy white acrylic paint. This stuff here, it does not take the color pencil really well. But all the other materials that I did use already in this series, yes, they do take the color pencil really well. Let's just move this down a little bit. It's funny, like some lines just stick out to me and I just want to get rid of them. You just bought some to try out? Yeah. Yeah, the bleed proof white ink that I have from Dr. P.H. Martin, it's very good if you're trying to go over red or purple pigment, which can bleed. So if you've ever like put gel pen over red pigment, like a red pencil or a purple pencil, you'll see it comes out pink. And that's just the pigment bleeding up through the paint or the ink, depending on what you're using. But that bleed proof ink doesn't do that. It's bleed proof, so it's awesome. Yep, Emily's Inktober drawings are really cool. I'm going to color that snowflake one, I think, during the holidays for sure. So maybe that can be one of my lunches with Laura. I haven't done one of those in a while. I've been so busy. My workload has been out the roof. So it's been hard, guys, because like, gosh, I wish I could stream more, but it's just juggling all the work stuff and my sister moving, and it's been quite a month. But I do have some pretty cool stuff planned, so we're gonna be good. Okay, let's do these lines. Now I'm using the thinner paint, but I kind of like that it's turning out gray and not completely white. So you'll see I kind of use the mediums in the way that they I take advantage of the properties of the medium, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, B. If you hate that, then the Dr. P.H. Martin's Bleed Proof White is really great for that. Just make sure to leave some of the, you can see I don't really burnish completely. Just leave some of the paper tooth so that way the ink has something to grab onto. I don't think so, Sue, but that's okay. I don't have any trolls either. Yeah, it was really cute. I liked your leafy bug. I love bugs though. I know I'm really weird. Like, I don't like them in my house, but I love bugs. Like, observing them, drawing them. But that, you know, that's probably from my childhood. I used to catch bugs and study them when I was a kid because I'm weird. But I just love how, like, each bug is like a work of art. Like, if you look closely at them, they've got all kinds of cool designs and patterns, and I don't know, I've just always thought nature is just so amazing, the way everything is designed. Okay. Yeah, you got it. Oh, Emily. It depends on the bug. I don't like all bugs, but yeah, I do like most of them. And if you guys like photos of bugs, I have an Instagram account where I take photography of like moths and butterflies and grasshoppers and bees and stuff like that. That's on Insta. I can link you if you're interested. But alright, so let's do, I guess I should do this guy. It does stand out to me. Hi Susan. Hello. Thank you for coming. Must be late there, early. Oh man. Yeah, Emily, her channel's amazing. She's way better at live streaming than I am. I don't know how you keep up with the chat the way you do, Emily. I miss things all the time, and I'm really sorry about that. I'm just not as good. But it takes practice. There was no... Wait. Speaking of bugs, some girl flipped her car in a ditch because the spider dropped down from her visor. The report said there was no spider found in the scene of the accident. The girl was fine. Oh man. I've had that happen to me where there's a bug in my car. I have to pull over because I'm like, oh no, you can't live in here. Like one time there was a bee in my car. Oh my gosh. Like I had the windows down and I was just cruising along and a bee flew right into my car and I was like, what? And I had to pull over and get him out because I just couldn't drive that way. Yeah, I have my laptop and like to the side. And I can see sometimes, I guess, when it scrolls up. Honestly, I just don't think I'm very good at it. Usually when I'm drawing and painting, I kind of get sucked in and like my concentration is just the piece in front of me and nothing else. So I think it's just, I just have a really hard time like splitting my attention, to be honest. And that's just my bad. But eventually I'll get better. But, in pain going, oh no, root canal. Wait, who's depressed? Oh. Oh my gosh, Susan, a bird flew in? Now that is cause to pull over. Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine. Well, I hope that your root canal goes okay. Yeah. No, I haven't seen that video, Emily. You know, honestly, I think I miss so much on social media. Like, I don't know, I can't keep up with my feed. Like, it moves so quickly. And I usually only have like a couple hours in the day to check my social media stuff, so I miss so much. And like, it's not intentional, you know? It's just I literally just don't have the time. I do what I can. But that's why I don't participate in groups that much. Like on Facebook, I can't. I try and make sure to check my group and then, you know, try and see if there's anything really important happening. But yeah, honestly, most of the time, I'm on Insta just trying to keep up with my feed. It's pretty crazy. Yeah, tooth pain is pretty rough. Yeah, and I just, you know, I think because I work full time and I just, you know, after like 12 hours of working, then I'm like pretty tired of looking at the computer screen. So to be honest with you, some days after I work long days, I don't look at my computer anymore because I just need to like rest my eyes and kind of wind down. So what I'll end up doing, sometimes I'll check my phone, like Instagram on my phone. And I think that's why I'm on Instagram more than Facebook, because Facebook doesn't work well on my phone. So I usually have to check Facebook on my computer. And but yeah, to be honest with you, most of the time, like after work, I just want to sit down and draw or color and not even look at any screens at all. So, and I've been putting like, I've been lurking in a lot of live streams lately. Like your stream was a good example where like I Chromecast it from my phone onto my TV so I didn't have to like look at my phone screen. But then I don't participate in the chat as much because the chat on the phone is horrible. Like if I'm on my computer, the chat is fine, but trying to chat on a cell phone is crazy. So, I am a web designer and I also develop websites. So I do like the coding, the back-end coding, and the styling for websites. And I also do product photography. I do some animation and some infographic work. My clients come mostly from the food industry and also the medical industry. So I do a lot of medical illustrations for like textbooks, you know, like here's a joint, you know, and like, so like I'll have to like draw like the knee and all of the tendons and ligaments around it and all that. So I do stuff like that. But most of the time I'm like coding websites. So I'm basically tapping away at a computer all day, and by the time I'm done work, I'm like so sick of looking at the screen that I don't want to do it anymore. Because 12 hours of looking at a screen is a lot. Like, you don't realize it, but you know, when you're working on something for that long, I don't know how to explain. It's just, yeah. Well, I don't do illustration for a hospital. What it is it's actually a textbook manufacturer. And I got that job actually through, I used to work at an ad agency where I did a lot of the work with them. But when the ad agency closed, they asked my old boss for my phone number and just contacted me directly. And so I've been freelancing with them ever since. So that's how I got that job. But most of my other work just comes from word of mouth from my current clients. So what happens is like I do a job with somebody and then they tell their buddy who owns a business, hey, I worked with this lady and she did a great job and yada yada. So I don't advertise. I don't, you know, I have a full client list. So most of the time I'm booked up through like 2 months in advance. So I don't really like, I'm not like looking for new clients at this point. But yeah, like one guy found me on social media. He was looking through my work and I guess asked me if I would do some product photography for him. So yeah, I kind of get, I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain. I just kind of get jobs like coming at me from random places. Kind of weird, but I think that's because I've been doing this kind of work now for over 15 years. And so I think you just like get a reputation for doing a good job, I guess, and then your word spreads around. Yeah. Yep. But yeah, a couple of my clients are from the old agency that I worked for, and when they shut down, basically the owner retired. He was old and he didn't want to do it anymore, so he sold the business. And when he sold it, the new guy didn't really take it on as the same business anymore. He just bought the building and then kind of cleared out, laid off all the workers, which sucks. And so when he shut down the ad agency, a lot of the clients asked for my number because they remembered me from like a couple years prior I was working there. So they remembered me and they were like, hey, do you have her number? Is she doing work still? And so he gave them my number, and that's sort of how that all came about. And that was like 3 of my better clients, 3 people who asked me for work regularly. And then one of them is a candy manufacturer, so I'm sure you know like Tootsie Roll. So I do a lot of their product photography. I also do, they also own Double Bubble and all those bubble gum. So I do a lot of bubblegum photos. It's crazy. So much fun though. And I do a lot of product photography. If you've ever heard of Rosati Water Ice, I've done their product photography. So if you can imagine, I've got like a 2-gallon tub of water ice sitting in my living room and I'm scooping it out because every time I take a shot, the water ice melts enough under my light, you know, that and this was in the summertime, so of course it was warm in my apartment. So yeah, I was like scooping so many, like one shot, scoop, one shot, scoop. It was crazy. But that was a fun photo session. So yeah, I do kind of all kinds of different work. Basically anything to do with creative work for companies. Hi, Robin. Hello, hello. So yeah, on the plate this week is a photography shoot, and I've also got a website I've got to get up and running. So that's this week, and then next week I have a really big photo shoot up in New York. Actually, I have to go up and take some product photography for some large items that can't be moved. So I had to go to them. So that should be interesting. Yep. But what I do like about my job is it's never the same. I'm always doing something new, learning stuff. It's never boring. So yeah, some days I wish I could just sit and draw all day. I think that's mostly just because I don't know why, but like I taught myself how to code websites, but I never thought that would actually be my job. You know, it's just that it's a high demand skill to have, I guess. But I think it's the least fun part of my job. But, you know, everybody has work they don't like to do. So, it is what it is. I'm just happy if I can pay my rent. Alright, so we've got only a couple more bubbles left, and then I think we're on to mixing and making all of this come together. So we'll see here. Cool. All right. So exciting to see this come together. I need to wash off my brush a little bit. Every once in a while I just wash off my brush and clean it off because it gets kind of crusty. You don't want the acrylic to dry on your brush. So I just wash it off from time to time and start fresh. Yeah, you can see this. Yeah. Let's see, should I do? Yeah, I'm gonna do this outline too. Since it's right up against her hair, which is fairly light. All right. So we've got a couple more little dots here, bubbles. And then we'll take a look and see. I think I want to work on her face next, just to kind of get that going again. So yeah, this paint works really well for covering the lines. You may have to go over it another coat, but I'm going to go over it with a color, so I think we're good. It just sort of knocks that contrast out, makes it softer, so it's not as hard to work over. All right. Oh, a little bubble right down here. Okay. So now what I do at this point, let's just take a step back. What I'll do here is I'll zoom out for you guys. Let's see, can I? Yep. So you can see that does make a big difference. Get rid of those black outlines. Let's go and work on her face now and get this all sorted out. Thank you, Jo Beth. I like her all right. She's coming together. Okay. So what I'd like to do first, let's work on, I'm just trying to think here. Spray some water on that. I think we used, so I have all of my paints here. I'm just looking through them and trying to pick some colors. So we used burnt sienna. Where is, okay, here it is. All right, so the colors we were using before are burnt sienna. We're definitely going to use this. We were also using cerulean blue hue, quinacridone crimson, and Naples yellow hue. So these are all in the Liquitex Professional Heavy Body Acrylics. You can use any brand you want. I'm just showing you what I'm using here. So I'm definitely going to put down some burnt sienna because I know I want this for sure. And I think I'll want some of that cerulean, so let's just throw that down too. So I'm just throwing it on my little palette here. I can show you. This palette is just an old lid that I use. Okay. So let's scoot this over. And that way you guys can see me mixing. So I'm mixing the burnt sienna and the cerulean together. Makes like a more muted, darker brown. Now her eyebrows are just a little bit too light for my taste considering the color of her hair. So I'm just going to go in really gently on just the inside. Let's water that down just a little bit. So I'm just dipping my brush in the water. Okay. And same with over here, just a little bit too light in the corner. Okay, now I'm going to take just the pure burnt sienna and I'm just dipping my brush in and going over the area that I just went over. And this just sort of blends the two colors together. And this has some water in it, so it'll dry a little bit lighter than you think. Okay, now I want to use this same burnt sienna for areas in the darkness of her hair. This will tie the two elements together and make them feel more cohesive. So here in the shadows, I just want to add some strokes of this burnt sienna just to kind of bring it together with her eyebrows, make it feel like they're part of the same color family. So you see, anywhere where I had this really dark gray, I'm just kind of adding some of this really beautiful warm brown. Let's just kind of thin that out a little bit. There we go. I'm sorry if you can hear the kids downstairs. There's a family downstairs. Sometimes you're going to hear the little kids. Okay. So now let's also do that Oh, don't be sorry, Susan. Uh-huh. No need to apologize. You come and go as you like. Okay. So right along here. And I'm just putting touches, so it doesn't have to be a whole lot here, but just some hints of it will really tie the two together. Oh, no problem. Oh, it's dinner time there, that's right. I always get the time zones mixed up. Let's do some right in the back here. Oh, let me zoom out a little bit. I think it's harder to see. There we go. So we're still zoomed in, but I'm going to be jumping around, so I think that's probably a better idea. Okay. So now I'm going to use the same brown in some areas that are dark that I want to get rid of the white. So for example, this fishy here, he's got some white outlines here. I'm just going to go over them with the burnt sienna. So what makes the white nice is it makes this color pop now. If we just went over it with the black, it would be fighting the darkness of the black. But I don't want it quite that bright, especially not on the bottom part of the fish. So I'm going to go over it with this burnt sienna. And I think this is the fun part, adding the color in after you've gone through all the effort to get all the white down. So much fun. Okay. Hi, Kenny. Oh, I'm so glad that it's soothing to you. I know you miss Alfie so much. I'm so sorry. And Susan's just had a birthday, guys, so we should be wishing her happy birthday. So, okay, we've got this bit here. So what I'm doing is now my brush is sort of running out of paint, and I'm not dipping back in or getting more paint. I'm kind of letting it run out. And what this does is it creates almost like a lighter and lighter touch as you run out, which is great because it's going towards the light now. So I started at the bottom of the fish. Now I'm going up. Okay. Happy birthday! Woo! It's great to see everybody here. Okay. So now I'm going to grab my Naples yellow hue. Let's see how much of this I have left. It's quite low, but I have another tube somewhere. So, oh, no, we've got some in there. When I close a tube that's almost empty, I make sure to push up the paint before I close the lid. And the reason I do that is it's actually, by pushing out the air that's in there, it preserves the little bit of paint that's left in there a little bit longer. Okay, so now I've got the Naples yellow. I'm going to mix a nice green out of this one and the cerulean. We're going to mix like a nice little sea green color here. Now what I'd like to do is go over I know I said I was going to work on the face, but I kind of want to let the eyebrows dry before I get in there again. So while we're waiting for that, I'm going to go over some of these white lines that we put down for the seaweed. Just go over them with this green. It's almost a perfect match for the pencils. So we're good there. But I find that even if it's not a perfect match, even if it's close, the value is what matters more than the actual color. So if you get the color a little off, don't worry too much about that. As long as it's the right light or darkness, that's what really matters. So you see, I'm not even being super precise with it. That's okay. Okay. Yeah, Kenny. Yeah, Kenny, I had a crazy morning this morning. I had to help my sister move. She shoved off today for Florida, so I just helped her out with that. And then I had a meeting for work. So yeah, I couldn't be on my regular scheduled time. And also the light is not helping me out. I'm sure you guys saw my last stream. I'm struggling with the light in the morning right now. So I may move my streams to a later time during the day. If I do that, I'll let you guys know, or just change the stream time. Yeah, she just shoved off today, so she's off to her new job and her new adventure. Yep. I think she's gonna do great down there. My sister hates the cold, you see, so she's gonna love Florida. Here it gets real cold and chilly during the winter time. So, you're stained girl, Shannon. Well, now I want to see your stained girl. I don't even know what's happening here, but sorry guys if I'm missing some of the chat. Alright. So I just picked up some more paint. Just getting rid of some of it. So it seems like it's a long process, and I'm really sorry about that. But I haven't really found a quicker way of going about this. I just take my time and I just kind of just try not to rush. Just try and be mellow about it. I'm just mixing up a little bit more of that green so it's still Naples yellow hue and cerulean blue, just like I showed you. Oh, Shannon. Oh my. Well, is it something you can print again? Is it a printout or in a book? Sometimes I've struggled with things. I just end up starting over. Alright, let me mix a little bit more yellow in there for this bit. There we go. Yeah. I think that's why I love drawing so much, is because I'm typically a high energy kind of hyper person. I'm always go, 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 you know, and then art just makes me slow down, stop, and enjoy it. So I think that's why I love drawing and painting so much. It does chill me out. Calm down, Laura. So, yep. Oh, it's in Summer Nights. Oh. Um. Yeah, we'll have to see it. Maybe there's a way Well, we'll see. Sometimes you think it's bad and it's not as bad as you think. So I just mixed some cerulean blue in with some of the white that I had put down already. And it's okay to mix brands. So I have here the Americana Craft paint I'm mixing in with the Liquitex paint. That's totally fine. It's acrylic paint. It'll mix together. So just like your pencils can mix, your paints can mix too. I mean, I wouldn't mix like oil paint and acrylic paint. I don't know what will happen. But as far as like acrylic paints go, you can mix any brands in together. Okay, so now I'm just taking that same brush. It's a little dirty, but it's got some white mixed in. I'm dipping it into my green. I'm just kind of brightening up just the center bit a little bit. Shannon, everybody wants to see. Okay. Let's see here. Actually, let me go. I have like this lighter color on my brush, so let me go up here and do that. Right up here. So my goal is just to sort of make the lines less apparent. So basically take away the edge off of that bright white and make it blend more in with the surrounding color. But you see, I don't stress about making it perfect. As long as it flows okay and it doesn't look too light or dark, I think that's the key. Now, some people will spend a long time making it match. There's nothing wrong with that either. I just don't worry too much about that. I consider it to be sort of the style of these coloring pages, that there is some lining going on. But I do like softening them and making them less obvious, I guess. So now I'm mixing in a darker color by just adding more cerulean blue and more Naples yellow. To cover this spot down at the bottom. And let's do that with these guys here too. All right. Well, it seems like Shannon's pretty much well on her way to finishing. You guys think she only needs a little bit of shading. I'm just gonna spray my mist my palette. So I mist my palette with just a little spray mister. That keeps things from forming a crusty shell and prevents them from drying out. If you've seen me work with acrylic before, you know I do that all the time. Okay, now just dipping in just almost some pure, I just have a dirty brush and I'm just dipping into the pure Naples yellow. It gives me a nice lighter color green. And now I'm going over these upper areas up here, like so, and I'll use the same color for this spot down here. Oh, I'm sure it looks great, Shannon. I think you might be too hard on yourself. I do that too, though. Let's see, the eyebrows should probably be dry by now. So after we're done with this dude, we can go back to the face, I think. All right. Sounds like Sue and Kenny have got a cheerleading squad going, which is good. Sometimes we need that. Thank you, ladies. There we go. All right. So now that we've done that bit, let's go back over to the face. I'm just going to wash my brush now. And now I'm going to add, let's see, I want a pretty, we're going to use, I rarely ever use this color. I think this tube is pretty old. I'm going to use Ivory Black here. Just going to dab a little on my palette. I bet I will. I bet I will, Sue. Okay, let's zoom in for this bit because it's small detail work. We're going to be working on the eyes now. And remember we said we were leaving the eyelashes and stuff until last. And the reason why is because when you're working around the eyes, it's easy to put the eyelashes in and then you're kind of stuck. You can't work behind them anymore. So I'm just going to go in with this Ivory Black. Just add that contrast back in where we went over it. So not everywhere. So the pupils of the eyes and just on the top of that iris there. And now let's start with the eyelashes. Now I'm going to rotate the book. The reason why I do this is because you want to go in the directions that's most comfortable to you, especially when you're doing eyelashes or things like this. So I start at the base of the eyelash and I just gently, oh, needs more water. Excuse me, let me just mix this up properly. My black is pretty old, so it's kind of a little bit crusty. Let's get him going. There we go. Okay, so let's try that again. So we start at the base and we just pull up. And we're using a curve. And luckily Hannah already gave us that curve. And now it's too watered down. Hold on. Okay, let's try it this time. And if you need more than one coat, that's okay. So the goal here is just to get it, to a point where you really feel like the lashes are standing off more. Okay. So let's rotate the book again. Sorry. So now we're back on the other side. And I don't know why, but it's always easier for me to pull down. So instead of trying to go against the natural way my hands go, I just work with it. Okay, so that's that one. Let's go back over to the other side here. And first I'm just going to, I'm not going to start all the way in the corner there, but right about here. And just put that dark line back in. might seem redundant because we took it out before, but I didn't want the whole thing to be outlined, just that one spot. So I find it easier just to do it this way. Okay, I'll do the ones on the bottom. I've only gone over a couple of them, so let's just put them back in. Like these guys are okay, I'm just gonna leave them just as they are. Now let's rotate the book again. Sorry guys. This time I'm gonna kinda, where is she? Where are you guys? Where is it? Okay, just look. There we go. Okay. So again, just putting the book in the way that's most comfortable for my hand allows you to, if you're comfortable when you're making these sort of small lines, they end up turning out better, I think, than trying to strain your hand. Not necessary. There's no wrong way to do it. You can do it however you want. Okay, so over here I'm just going to kind of fill in the gaps just towards the base of the eye. Make it feel less like there's a bunch of holes in there. She's got some beautiful eyelashes, I tell you what. Hannah always makes her girls have really, really nice eyelashes. And I'm just also putting some black paint in that pupil as well, just to give it a little pop. Okay, so right here seems a little too light still. Let's see. So just taking a look at that. Now I'm going to mix in some cerulean blue in with it. So I'm mixing in my ivory black and cerulean blue. And right here at the crease, I'm just going to add a little contrast. I'm going to do that right here as well. Now that dries slightly darker, so I think that should be the right value. We'll see when it's dry. I'm also going to add some more of this cerulean blue and just to that corner, and also right in here where I didn't put black. I wanted that to be a softer color. Hi Leslie. Hello. Man, it must be late for you. I'm surprised you're not sleeping, Les. Okay. And just as a little final touch, I'm going to add some white just to the edge of that, just to really bring out the contrast. And then just because I like to do this kind of thing, I'm also going to put a little white dot right there and right there, just to kind of add a little sparkle to her eye. Let's fix that a little better. Okay. Let's mix in a little bit of blue into my white. And just on the edge where the eyelashes meet that white highlight, I'm just going to add a little bit of blue just to soften that transition a little bit. I'll do that over here too. Okay. So now we have, we're working on it, and we're doing the face finishing touches for sure. So let's see, the other bit I wanted to work on is her mouth here. So let's scoot the book up a little bit more. So now I'm mixing in my burnt sienna in with my titanium, or not my titanium white, the Americana white that I had. And I'm just gonna go over this spot right here And also these little black lines, I have watered down this so it's not going to be super opaque. I just want to soften those black lines a little bit better. And then the other bit I wanted to do, taking the mixture I have of white and burnt sienna, just want to kind of get rid of that line right there. All these lines in her face kind of flatten it out, make it look less realistic. So if you're going for realism, I think that taking the lines out is a really good idea. You don't have to do it, just my own personal thing. Okay. Yeah, Emily, I would probably be ahead too if I were doing it. And then the other thing, I just want to kind of soften this line a little bit more. I know it should be dark, and I might go over that with some darker color later, but I don't want it to be quite that dark. Okay. Let's see. So now, what I do at this point is I just zoom out and take a look at it. Sort of overall. See, I think I just want to work on the fishy and the earrings and some other little details. So let's go ahead and do that. And then we'll see how she turns out. Yeah, it is smart to do it in advance. Okay. I think her face is really... See, these dots here that we got rid of, they're not completely gone. But it's okay if she looks scaly if she's a mermaid. But I didn't want them to be really harsh on her skin. So you can see I didn't try and get rid of them completely. I mean, you can if you want to. But I didn't feel the need to do that. You know, I don't mind the texture. I think it looks like she's a mermaid. But I didn't want them to be super dark or anything. I wanted her face to really, like her eyes to really be the focus of her face. So that's why I did that. Let's clean off my brush. Thanks, Emily. I probably won't give this one away since it's bound in the book. I tend to only give the ones away that I extract from the books because, I don't know, but we'll see. Actually, the one page I tried to give away before, it came back to me, so that's kind of frustrating. I gotta resend it. So I'm not going to be doing any more giveaways until that reaches its home because I don't know how many times it's going to take to send. That's the trouble with sending things internationally. I've gotten a lot of packages back, and you know, I feel like it's been worse lately. I don't know why, but if people don't claim it at customs, then it comes back to me. They won't put it through. So if you're getting a package from the US and you're not from the US, make sure to check the customs and actually pay the customs fee, because if you don't, then the package comes back, and then you know, it's not cheap to send, so then we gotta pay all over again. So yeah, I don't know about that. Might be doing more like digital PDF giveaways if it's really an issue sending overseas stuff. But that's the world sometimes. No, it was the correct address. It's just that they didn't pick it up at customs. Customs charged a fee, even though it was marked as a gift, because it was a gift. But unfortunately, customs will still charge a fee when you're sending from the United States to the UK, especially, and also I've found Germany to be very difficult. So if they don't pick it up in customs, then they'll hold it there for a small window and then they send it back to me. So I've gotten that package back, And so now I have to send it again. So, and the thing is like it wouldn't be so bad, except it's like $20 to send it. So like, oh man. But that's kind of the deal though. I'm used to this by now, so I shouldn't really be complaining. That's just the deal with international mail. Yeah. Well, you're pretty funny there, Shannon, so I'm pretty sure he would have a good sense of humor. Alright, so now I'm grabbing my burnt sienna. I'm just gonna mix a little bit of white with that. I did mark them as a gift, Susan. Unfortunately, I did. Well, for the books that I sell, I can't mark them as a gift because then that would be illegal. But for the package I sent to the UK, I marked it as a gift, and they still charged a custom fee. It was held in customs. So unfortunately, even when you mark it as a gift, it doesn't change the customs fees. So there's not much I can do as far as that goes. It is what it is, unfortunately. It seems like in between the US and the UK is the worst fees, and then also Australia gets a lot of fees, and Germany. Germany actually has sent back packages without informing the person that there's a customs charge, and that's frustrating to me because then I end up having to send it back like 3 or 4 times before they finally get it. So, but yeah, I think UK, Germany, and Australia is sometimes good and sometimes bad. So it seems like those guys are the worst offenders, at least in my experience. You know, I could be wrong there, but yeah, Susan, it was the one I sent to Sammy actually. I marked it as a gift. I mean, I was specifically marking it as a gift because it was a gift. And it's still, they still tried to charge a customs, and now I have it back. So, yeah. Um, yeah, yes. Shannon is really funny. She's great. Well, it's okay though. We'll work it out. I'm gonna send it back, but I need to repackage it. I don't want to send it in the same package that I sent before. All right. So oh man. Yeah, Leslie, I'm telling you, I feel like the mail is getting worse lately. Like people are just like being lazy about it, or I don't know what, but a couple of years ago I had no trouble sending mail, and now it's like hell to send anything anywhere. What are you gonna do though? I mean, we do our best. At least I've only had my books sent back, I think only a couple times, and I ended up either refunding the customer or sending it again. So at least the books seem to go through okay. But it's funny, I think the gift mail tends to get stuck. I don't know. It's weird. So, what are you gonna do? But yeah, I probably won't be doing another giveaway until I resolve that one. I don't like having unresolved stuff going on, so I'll just work on that first. Okay, little fishy is coming together. He's much less. Let's see. What are you using? Me, Meredith. I'm using a brush. So I'm using one of these craft acrylic brushes I got this at Walmart. It's called a Royal and Langernickel. I think they were like $2-3 at Walmart. Sorry, he was a little off camera. Yep. Uh-huh. Let's see. Oh man, Susan, I'm sure. That's frustrating. They're toasty. Emily, try on your hands works for Laura May and Belinda. What, socks? Leslie. Oh, that's all right. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, I've mixed, it's mostly cerulean blue, but I've mixed a little bit of Naples yellow hue into it. And I'm just going over some of these little scale lines here. Yeah, I'm so sorry to hear about that. That's really frustrating. You know, it's like, if it's a gift, I don't understand why we need to pay customs fees at all, because it's not like it's being bought as a commerce item. I don't know. I don't understand the way that international law like that works, but to me it seems really silly, because if I send a gift to somebody, I don't want them paying for it, but there's no way to pay for the customs ahead of time. So, very frustrating. I don't really know what to do about it. Like, I went to the post office and I was like, can I pay the customs? And they're like, we don't know what the customs is. Like, they charge it when it gets there. So, great. What are you gonna do, though? I mean, so I don't know how many pages I'm gonna give away, because I feel like I don't want to just like say US only, because I don't think that's fair. I think it's kind of mean to like exclude the rest of the world from that. At the same time, like, if sending stuff is going to be so tricky, I don't know if I'm going to be doing it, so we'll see. But I definitely do giveaways, like PDFs and stuff like that, so we'll still keep doing that. Speaking of which, I will be finishing up that new page that I'm creating for another tutorial. So I did the metal tutorial, and that was, I think, a hit in a way. A lot of people have been telling me that it was useful. So I'm going to be doing a gems and crystals one, similar format, where I basically just offer a page as a freebie, and then you guys can color along with me. So I'm going to be doing that hopefully sometime this week. We'll see how my work schedule goes, but I'm just finishing up the page. I was working on it last night, actually. Well, Emily was drawing, I was drawing too. So I was working on that last night. I love drawing gemstones. I don't know why. Yeah. Alright, so just taking a little bit of white, just sort of softening some of these. I've like watered down some white. I don't want it to be quite that harsh at the top. My goodness. Okay. The black velvet. Leslie, honestly, I would just recommend anything that's cheap and golden Taklon. You don't need to spend a whole lot of money on your brushes. The reason I like golden Taklon is it holds water really well, but it's synthetic, so it doesn't cost a lot of money. And you can see here, I have these here are golden Taklon brushes. They're basically, if they're like this orange golden color, that's what you're looking for. They work for both acrylic and watercolor, but once you use it for acrylic, you can't really go back to watercolor. But I have these here. These are like squishy comfort soft brushes. I've gotten these on Amazon. They're also Royal and Langernickel. Or no, I'm sorry, these are Crafter's Choice. And maybe I got these at Hobby Lobby. I'm not sure actually. I get my brushes from all over. I tend to get my brushes locally because I like to pick them and make sure that the bristles aren't bent. And I've had some bristles bent in travel, so I tend to buy them locally. This is also a golden Taklon, but this is a watercolor brush. So, yeah, I tend to buy those. There's no specific brand I go for. Like here is, so this one is so old that I've stained it now. And you can kind of see this is like a 20-year-old brush. So they last a long time if you take good care of them. And the brush care is just mostly in how you wash them. So, and I've gone over that a couple times, but I can do a separate video if you want about that. Let's see here. Anything else that stands out? I kind of want to soften this bit of her eyebrow. It got a little too dark. So I'm just taking some Naples yellow and I'm just going to dry brush some texture back in. Not a lot, but just sort of break up that big space there. Okay, wait. Before it dries, just water it down. I did a little too much there. There we go. Cool. Just trying to look at it overall. See any little finishing touches that we're doing. Yep, so maybe the earrings need a little more work, so I'm just going to go in with my cerulean blue, mix a little bit of the black into it, just kind of go over some of this white. I don't think it should be quite this bright in the shadows of her hair like that. So I'm just leaving a little white dot there for the highlight. And this is really watered down, so we'll see how it turns out. I might need to go over it again. Alright, and then, yeah, golden Taklon. Here, I'll say it. It's a synthetic brush. I like it because there's no animal hair involved, and it's a lot cheaper than some of the more natural bristle brushes. But at the same time, the golden, you can buy a regular white Taklon synthetic brush, but they're not treated with a chemical which makes them more receptive to water, which is why the golden Taklon is a little bit superior. They don't hold as much water as, say, a natural hair bristle brush, but it's definitely a whole lot better than just the white Taklon brushes that you can find that are super cheap. So I think for a beginner, it's perfect. Oh, do you? Yeah, the squishy brushes are great. I have hand trouble sometimes, so I use those comfort bristles, and the comfort brushes. They're really nice. Yeah, actually, I think all of my brushes, Leslie, are synthetics. I don't use real animal hair either. I don't find it necessary. So I use synthetic squirrel brushes for my watercolors. Those are really fun, but they're a lot harder to control. They hold so much water that they're almost like trickier, if that makes sense. So yeah, I think the golden tampons are great. I still use them all the time, even though I would consider them beginner friendly. I still think they're great for beginners or advanced artists. Okay, sorry, just concentrating. I'm just sort of softening her eyes a little bit more. So at this stage of the drawing, I basically just kind of look around all over and sort of just see what stands out to me and work in that spot. There's no real like formula here. I just sort of go in wherever, like these feel too light to me because they're in a dark area. So I'm just going over them with a mixture of Naples yellow and burnt sienna and just sort of softening that back down. Again, over here, feel the same way about these white outlines now. So just sort of whatever calls out to you that needs a little bit of softening. And I kind of want to oh, I'm so sorry, Kenny. Ugh, new meds. Sometimes that's the worst because you got to get used to it or figure out a way to figure out the right dosage. Let me put that away. Okay, so for these little shells and the shadows here, I'm just gonna kind of add this. So this is a mixture. It's mostly cerulean blue, but I added a little bit of Naples yellow to it. And right in here in this shadow, I'm just gonna go over that white that I put down and just add this really pretty green-blue color. Didn't want the outlines to be black, but I also don't want them to be white. I'm just actually going over the whole thing. Yay, you don't have to be precise. Just have some fun putting paint down. And I'm using the same exact color. My brush is kind of losing a whole lot of paint, like there's not a lot in there anymore, but I'm just going to keep going. So I'm going to get rid of that line there. And maybe this one over here can be, let's put some shadow in there. So you guys see I just sort of like move around the composition, kind of see what catches my eye that I want to use that color with, and I'll just go for it. Okay, this one's more pink, so let's just avoid that. Okay. Now my brush is pretty much run out of a whole lot of pigment, but see, I'm moving towards the top of the composition as I do this, so it works out pretty well. As you let your brush just run out of pigment, just move closer to your light source and it all sort of makes sense. And I like using the same, oh, I'm sorry, I'm off camera, gosh. Where are we here? There we go. Sorry about that. when I'm using paint like this and I'm kind of going all over the place, it's nice to just sort of not try to work in one specific spot, but sort of work all over. That way the colors you're using are harmonious between the different elements. So like if I use a color one spot, I'll use it in other places throughout the drawing, so that way it looks like it belongs. And there's not one like color that stands out. Oh no, Emily. Hi, Faithful Mess. Nice to see you. I don't think there's any mods today. Hi, Loretta. Hello. Oh man. Well, I hope they figure it out, Kenny. I hope they get you all sorted. Nothing worse than having bad meds going through you. So you see, I'm just sort of playing now. Okay, I do want to work more on these guys down here. So I just have, it's mostly cerulean with just a touch of Naples yellow, and it's a watery mix. Just softening the white that we put down, and also just sort of deepening up shadows. So I love using paint at the end because it just sort of brings it all together and kind of, I don't know, it's so quick. Okay, that just sort of took a lot of that contrast out of that area, made it softer. So I didn't take all the white out, but I definitely was more selective with where I left the white in. Okay, let's see. I'm trying to decide. I kind of want to get rid of these outlines here, I think. So let's do that. They're not really standing out to me too much, but yeah, let's see. Yeah, being in pain is a pain. What's going on? PETA? I don't know. Alright, I'm mixing my cerulean blue and my Naples yellow together. And just for a little extra darkness, just a touch of the burnt sienna. And just gonna go over the black outlines on the seaweed here at the bottom. Not worried to get rid of them completely, but just again to soften and kind of take off the edge of that contrast and make it a little less noticeable. Okay. now mixing in some more of the yellow. Oh, yeah. Gotcha, Kenny. Sorry, I don't say that much. I didn't know the acronym for it, but I gotcha. Yes, it is. Yeah, I'm actually struggling with my medication right now too. It is not working. So it's tough when you're, the doctors do their best, and I think it's hard for them to pinpoint things sometimes, but it is tough when you're going through that, when your meds aren't working the way they should be and you're just struggling to like function. Ugh, it really sucks. But hopefully they sort me out soon because I'm tired of being tired. Oh, hi, Abs. She woke up. Little cutie. She was sleeping. I must have woken her up by accident. Sorry, cutie. Hey, sweetheart. She's being really good though. I have the paints out. Abby's very well trained. She knows she's not allowed up here. But I can put them away and then she'll be able to come up. I know, sweetheart. Hi. Aw. Tired of being tired. Yep, you got it. Oh, thank you guys. Alright, I'll put the paint away. Abby is crying to come up. As soon as I take it off the table, she'll be able to come up here. I'm working on it. Yeah, you coming? You want to say hi to everybody? Yeah, here she comes. Like clockwork. Hi. Say hi, Abs. Huh? There we go. Take you guys off. You're going for a ride. There she is. Hello, cutie. No, that's still the paint. See, I've got my paint thing here. So this is like my little box with my paint stuff in it. Hey. Say hi, everybody. So this is where we got to. I think she's done. I don't know. What do you guys think? Is there anything that you see that needs fixing? I think she's finished. Let's see. Happy girl. Uh-huh. Hi, my color. She's done? Shannon. Yeah, Emily, I don't have like studio lights. It's just this big window, and I have skylights up there. So I've got lots of big windows and skylights. It's nice though. Right, Em? But it means I only shoot during the day because I don't have the studio lights. Yeah. All right. Thank you, JoBeth. Thank you, Frederic. Thanks, Leslie. All right, guys. Well, I think well, first of all, I'm really horrible at hand-holding the camera. So, I'll put this back in there and we can kind of you can watch Abby do it. Let's see, does anybody have any questions for me before we do? Yeah, I think she's finished. I think we're done with her. So the next series that we're working on, I will show you guys the next page. We're working in Villain Son. So this will start next Tuesday. I'll show you the page we're going to do. This was already voted on a while ago. Where are you? Here it is. So it's this page here, which I've never done. I think this is a leopard. but I'll have to look up some big cats. I've never done a flying leopard before, so this is the page that we'll be working on. And that's in the Villain's Son book by Tomislav Tomic. I've done a couple other pages in this book. I've done this page here, the mermaid. And I've also done the dragon. So we've done a couple in there. And actually I'll show you guys while we're here, since we have a little time. I have a work in progress I'm working on very slowly in his other book. This is Zemlya Nova. So I'm almost done this page here. I just have to do some stuff to it. So, and actually, while we're showing whips here, I'll show you. I'm also working in Flora. This was a new book that was gifted to me, and I'm working on this page. So I started. This is all just polychromos. So I just started it for the. There's a color along going around on this page. So that. Just the background alone is taking me a while, but so that will be on my Instagram at some point too. So those are whips. Let's see, coloring fish bellies. Wait, what? You have a question, Emily. What's your question? Let's just move the kitty out of the way a little. What's your question? Yeah, the flying leopard is really cool, Leslie. I think that'll be a really fun page. Let's see. You're so welcome, Jo Beth. Take care, faithful. I'm just waiting for Emily's question. Oh, she said she has a question. I have a question. I don't know what it is. I'll wait for it. Oh, is it up there? Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, hold on. Let me scroll back up. Oh, that's not a question. How I learned my skills is practice. I don't know if I'm awesome, but that's how I learned how to do everything. It's just a lot of time and practice. Yeah, I love it, so I do it a lot. Take care, Leslie. Thanks for coming. All right, guys, so I'm gonna take off too. No. No, I practice a lot. Drawing and painting. I've been doing it all my life, and I've just practiced. I do it every day, and if you do something every day, you're gonna get good at it. Like, I know there's Inktober going around right now, but I do a drawing or painting every single day. I get up early. I get up at like 5 in the morning, and from 5 to 7 in the morning, I do my own thing. It's my time to do whatever I want. There's no rules. There's no having to show anybody what I'm working on. It's just my time to art, basically. So I do, if you work on anything for 2 hours every day, you're gonna get good at it. So that's my secret, is just do it a lot. And then you'll get good. But I think you know that. Yeah, you work on your stuff a lot too, and I can see your improvement too. So I think we're all getting better. It just takes some time. All right, Jo Beth. Thanks for coming, everybody. Let's see here. Who do we have in the chat? We've got, let me scroll up. We've got Shannon, Jo Beth, Emily, Kenny, Sue, Leslie, Shannon, I think I said. We've got Loretta, Sue. I think I got everybody. Thank you guys so much for coming and joining me. And I will be posting this up on Instagram in just a bit. And I look forward to doing the next page with you guys. And Abby too. Good thing it dries quickly, Abs. All right, take care, everybody. Thank you so much. Bye.